When it comes to Biafra, what I see is everything being done right. Let me put it this way. Again, I say this as an academic. I've been to many places around the world in which people desire their freedom. I've been to Iraqi Kurdistan, Turkish Kurdistan, and Syrian Kurdistan. And I've written a book where, while I empathize with the Kurds, they are not yet ready for independence because they have not taken the basic steps to form a unitary government that can step into the vacuum on day one and lead their people. That is something that the Biafrans have, a mistake the Biafrans have not made. What I see today with the organization of the Biafrans.
All right, so today is the second day of the Biafran Convention in Lahti, Finland. And believe in me, a lot has been happening there since morning. Yes, today we saw the life of some members of US Congress members. You know, they had their speech at that event, and believe in me, I'm not going to tell you what they say. I'm just going to allow you to watch it to yourself. All right, so I'm going to show you to watch it. After this, there's another update I'm going to bring to you, so please just do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification button so you get notified anytime I upload a video. All right, so please watch this.
And Syrian Kurdistan. And I've written a book where, while I empathize with the Kurds, they are not yet ready for independence because they have not taken the basic steps to form a unitary government that can step into the vacuum on day one and lead their people. That is something that the Biafrans have, a mistake the Biafrans have not made. What I see today with the organization of the Biafrans has been absolutely and completely admirable. You are not simply symbolically declaring independence. You are setting in motion a government which can take over all functions of the government. Now, some people may complain that Biafra now has its own army, and they may say that is a terrorist action. They are wrong. It is the job of any government to monopolize the use of force within its territory. The Nigerian army is the occupying army right now. Its job is not to monopolize the use of force within Biafra, because they have shown when they use force, they use it not for security, but to perpetrate insecurity. They use it to murder, they use it to rape, they use it to charter buses, to bring in militias, so that people, naive people, may believe that they have nothing to do with what is going on in the region. Now, I'm a historian by training, which means I get paid to predict the past. Also, speaking of pay, let me be clear. I am receiving nothing for my advocacy for Biafra. I have been offered nothing. I have demanded nothing. And I am receiving nothing. Nor would it even be legal for me to accept money from anyone. I am speaking only as an analyst and only as someone who wants to further liberty. Now, I ask as a historian, where has it worked to force the victims of genocide together with their perpetrators? Where in history has that ever worked? Aggressors must understand that if they turn to genocide, they will always lose. The fact of the matter is, Nigeria lost Biafra in 1967. They may have won the war temporarily, but they permanently lost Biafra. The decisions they made 57 years ago forfeited any rights they have to control, to occupy, to speak on behalf of the people of Biafra. Let me conclude by saying, as an analyst again, I don't think the United States will be the first country to recognize Biafra, but I pray that it won't be the third country either. Biafra to move from Finland and to lobby vociferously night and day in order to ensure that the African Union recognizes that Biafra is already more organized, already more capable of statehood, already will have a higher standard of living, already will be at peace with itself and its neighbors more than many other African countries. And therefore, it will be a boon to Africa, a boon to the African Union, a boon to the spread of democracy in the region, an anchor for stability in the region, in an area that is increasingly unstable, especially as people come from the north in order to destabilize. So let me conclude by saying with my very short remarks that I wish I could be with you there today. Family prevented me from coming, but I admire what you're doing, I follow what you're doing, and I pray for what you're doing. Long live Biafra.
The European colonists was not only the right thing to do and the moral thing to do, but in the interest of the United States, which at the time had been competing with the Soviet Union for influence in Africa and throughout the world. Similarly, in this new age of great power competition, the United States has an obligation to support the new African independence movements of the 21st century and put an end to the legacy of neocolonialism in Africa. And Nigeria is one of the worst examples of neocolonialism.
You said it all. You said it all. You said it all.
And the rise of Biafra will put an end to this nonsense. As the Biafran government lobbies in Washington, D.C., I've taken the Biafran message, or we could even say the Biafran gospel, to the highest levels. We have spoken to the Congress. We have spoken to the White House. We have spoken to the think tanks and the decision makers in Washington. As the finance minister said, we have met with and presented the Biafra Charter to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, the third highest level official in the United States government. And we've met with many members of Congress. The results have been overwhelmingly positive. We have received overwhelming support. We've already received many commitments. Not a single member of Congress or U.S. official that I've met with have expressed any support for Nigeria. So we're on the right track, and we're in a very good position as we move into the future. At this convention, we will have speakers from the most prestigious think tanks in Washington, D.C., including the Cato Institute, the American Enterprise Institute, and In Defense of Christians. They have been under a brutal dictatorship since that time and have not had their freedom. And President Badarai wants to bring freedom and democracy to his people, and it's been an honor to represent his cause in Washington, and he is very strongly supported by our government over the current dictatorship in Eritrea. So his recognition by Biafra is very significant. And I believe through what he's doing, through other contacts we're making, I think we can get recognition for Biafra from other states in Africa and other countries as well. So we'll be having a lot of conversations outside the U.S. government with other governments that are sympathetic, and I think we can make a lot of international progress.
More wheels on the ground.
Biafra's struggle for independence is a sublime one, in which the lands of its indigenous people can finally take control of their own destiny.
Thank you.
For too long, the people of Biafra suffered under colonial bondage and now neo-colonial oppression, being forced to be under the Nigerian yoke. With the declaration of the restoration of the independent state of Biafra, that is all finished.
Fire on the mountain.
Let us strive to create a new nation which will serve its people and be an example to the world. My fellow Biafrans, my fellow freedom fighters, long live independence, long live an independent and sovereign Biafra.
All right, so what do you think? What do you think? Drop your comment on the comment section and do not forget to subscribe to this channel, right? Thank you and God bless you.